First tonight on Our News, live at 7. Police called to the F&M headquarters last night after the party vice chairman says he was attacked by an unknown man. He's now asking why and who sent him. Plus, firefighters battle two boats ablaze in waters off West Potters Key Dock. The fire chief tells us the multi-agency effort. And the end in sight. The health minister says we are close to the end of AIDS on this World AIDS Day. Then in our news at 7:30, ordered to stand trial. An American housewife accused of a murder-for-hire plot against her husband will face a judge and jury. Our news live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to Our News live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Candido Knowles. An altercation outside the Free National Movement's headquarters last night, prompting police intervention. The man at the center of it, Free National Movement Vice Chairman Richard Johnson. Johnson telling Our News he was attacked by a man he does not know. The avid supporter of former leader Dr. Hubert Minnis says the situation got heated on the inside as the party discussed the loss of the recent West Grand Bahama and Bimini by-election. He alleges the attack came as he spoke with supporters outside.
And at that time, I decided to defend myself to the point where a person had to get between us and he was able to escape to me. And they told me outright that you need to go to the police station. This is not our matter, and you're not going to disturb this meeting. And so the meeting went on as usual, as if nothing did happen to me. Again, I'm an executive member of the F&M. I'm a vice chairman of the F&M. I'm one of them. And it didn't kill. So if the guy, whoever this guy was, had intentions to kill me, again, I would have been living here to tell the story.
All right, now Johnson, he had much more to say on the matter. Our Megan Shepherd, she's got the full story coming up in Our News at 7:30. A man accused of molesting his younger sister has been granted $9,500 bail. The 23-year-old man's name has been withheld to protect the identities of the alleged victims. He has been in custody since September 28th when he was formally charged with incest at his initial court appearance. As the magistrate lacks the authority to consider bail for the offense, he was denied bail in the initial. The man was granted bail by Justice Gregory Hilton on the condition that he has no contact with his alleged victims and signs in at a police station. He's accused of sexually abusing his sisters, ages 6 and 9, on September 23rd. And police over in Bimini reporting the death of another cruise ship passenger. The most recent incident taking place 3 a.m. Thursday. Police say that's when a 70-year-old woman fell ill and became unresponsive while in her cabin. She was examined by the ship's doctor, who determined she had died. An autopsy is expected to be performed to determine the exact cause of death. And two boats engulfed in flames this morning in waters west of Potters Key Dock. Chief Fire Officer Assistant Superintendent Damaris Armbrister says the blaze started just after 10. Armbrister says police, the Defense Force, Marine Services, and port officials were called in to help.
Our first unit would have arrived within 5 minutes. Upon arrival, they would have met one vessel that was docked, that was already extinguished. However, there were two other vessels that were floating in the harbor. Persons here would have cut those two vessels loose, and they were fully involved in flames. At that point, we would have called for the assistance of Defense Force Marine Section, along with the Police Marine Section, and the Port Department Marine Section. These officers would have assisted us in bringing these vessels to shore. At that point, we were able to extinguish both of them.
Now, one person we are told was injured in the fire. Bristol also telling us that the investigations are ongoing to determine what caused the blaze.
At this point, we can say that one person would have received injuries to both arms and the face. We were able to extinguish the fires, however, both vessels would have sank afterwards.
All right, to see that story again, head over to ournews.bs. Today is World AIDS Day, and Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville says newly reported HIV cases diagnosed in the country have decreased by 63% between 2012 and 2022, and now the ministry plans to take testing to the next level. Marlena Leonard reports.
I'm so pleased to report that the Bahamas has reached a moment in time when we are able to say that real progress is being made and that the end to AIDS is in sight.
And while health officials are pleased with this decline in numbers, they're still trying to find ways to make HIV testing more accessible. Now, they say they're releasing an at-home testing option for people who want to do their testing in private.
What is OraQuick? It is a quick, convenient, and confidential HIV testing option that allows clients to take control of their own health in their own hands. The test can be done at home or other private and confidential locations. The instructions are easy to follow, and the test results will be available in less than 20 minutes.
OraQuick will be available as a free option at public clinics and testing events, but will also be available for purchase at pharmacies for under $20. While the at-home test requires a confirmatory test if it comes back positive, Dr. Forbes says it could be the key to closing the gap in people unaware of their status.
The target is by 2030, 95% of people living with HIV in the Bahamas should know their HIV status. Of those, 95% of persons should be on effective antiretroviral medication, that's treatment for HIV, and to reach the gold standard of care, having an undetectable viral load.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Marlena Leonard.
All right, we've got much more to get to tonight, but for now, it's time for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson, he's standing by in the Weather Center. And Greg, I know it's supposed to warm up this weekend, and I know we're expecting another cold front, though, early next week.
Yeah, actually, there are two cold fronts. One will be here on Monday, and the second one sometime Tuesday into Wednesday.
Let the cold fronts keep coming.
Cool weather.
We had one earlier this week, too.
Cool weather is expected, and of course, we are closing out November and moving into December with these cold fronts coming in. So, yeah, we're looking at some cold fronts coming through. So, cool air is going to be with us for a couple of days. But outside the studios right now, it is slightly warmer, 78 degrees under mostly clear skies. It winds out of the south-southeast at 10 miles per hour, and your feels like temperature is at 81. Temperatures around the islands right now, it's 76 in Freeport, it's 78 over in Marsh Harbor, Abaco, and in Nicholls San Andres. We pick up 80 in Allenstown, Bimini, Great Harbor Key, and Governor's Harbor, you're both at 79. Into the Central Bahamas, 79 again in Kemps Bay, Arthurstown, Cat Island. Pair of 81s in Georgetown and Deadman's Key, Cuban Towns in Salvador, 77, and into the southeast Bahamas, 82 in Duncantown, Ragged Island. We pick up 81s in Colonel Hill, Cricket Island, Delectable Bay, and in Matthewtown, Inagua. Abrams Bay, 80, and Providenciales are good neighbors to the southeast. You guys are currently 79 at this hour. Satellite radar composite showing some patchy clouds moving across us. A lot of this is high-level clouds with some moisture moving out of the Gulf of Mexico, all associated with this complex system that's actually moving into the Florida Big Bend. That's going to stay to the north of us as a high-pressure ridge continues to dominate our weather. That high will slide out. Our winds will turn more towards the southeast to south. That's going to bring in some warm temperatures, so we're looking at some warmer conditions for the weekend before we see the cold front. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Thanks, Greg. And still to come on Our News, getting nowhere. The Prime Minister says 28 years of talk and no action on climate change. His comments from the sidelines of COP28 in Dubai. And just a reminder, grouper season closes today. We'll tell you when it next opens. Plus, work in progress is back tonight as the Ministry of Works tackles flooding on Carmichael Road when Our News returns. It's a story that's been 25 years in the making, and Our News is here to tell it. The Atlantis Resort opened the world-famous Royal Towers 25 years ago. Watch Our News live at 7 and 7:30 nightly starting December 4th for a week on location from the towers. It's time to celebrate and commemorate 25 years with the place helping to make our tourism industry great. Join us for the biggest birthday party in the country starting Monday, December 4th.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
The Bahamas determined to get its message across when it comes to getting industrialized countries to understand why they need to live up to the commitments they have made over the last 28 years to reduce carbon footprints. That's according to Prime Minister Philip Davis, who is in Dubai for the 28th United Nations Climate Change Conference, also known as COP28. Davis says not much has been done in the nearly 30 years of talk.
Last year, I indicated that, we're getting nowhere. We've been meeting for the last 28 years. What has been the result? In our region, more frequent hurricanes. They're more intense. In other areas of the world, you see your sandstorms. You see the heat waves. The world has seen its hottest period ever. You see flooding in various regions. Wildfires in certain regions, and nothing has happened. So clearly, for 28 years, very little has been done to curb the challenges.
Every year, COP meets to determine ambition and responsibilities for climate action and to identify and assess climate measures. Davis says the time has run out for small island nations and the time for talk is over.
We are here to sensitize the industrialized world to the importance of adhering to the commitments they have made over the many years, over the last 28 years, to move to reduce our carbon footprints, to assist in adaptation for small island developing states, live up to their commitments to ensure that the finance gap, which has been determined to be near $2 to $5 trillion, is met and filled. And that is why we're here. And it is important that the world understands, particularly the industrialized world, that countries like ours, small island developing states like ours, are no longer seeing this as a threat. It is now an actuality.
All right, we've got this reminder tonight. Grouper season is officially closed. The closure, it runs from December 1st until February 28th next year and is key for allowing breeding time. That means there is to be no capture, sale, or purchase of grouper. Agriculture and Fisheries officials say alternatives during the closure include lobster, mahi-mahi, and lionfish. Well, motorists on Carmichael Road will soon see major improvements that's expected to help reduce flooding. In tonight's Work in Progress, Jasmine Brown takes a look at which area is set for the upgrade.
It's an issue that plagues much of New Providence, and the Ministry of Works and Family Island Affairs is determined to do something about it. One particular area being targeted is Carmichael Road in the area of Blyden Road and Ramsey Street. MOW Senior Engineer Francis Clark says flooding is causing several issues that need to be addressed.
Rainwater or storm water has been settling, making it difficult for motorists to pass through. Also, with the water settling on the pavement, we have potholes developing over time, and we have to send road maintenance crews. So we are out here to look at these conditions and inform a way of how we start repairing it.
So what is the solution?
The intent is to lift the road above the water line and install a drain well to discharge any water runoff during storm events. We have a drainage design where we use a Valco valve, which allows water to discharge into the aquifer, but it does not allow water to come back up. So this is a type of drainage system that we install in areas where there's high water table. We have installed it in several areas, and it has performed.
Reporting for Work in Progress for Our News, I'm Jasmine Brown.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as the truce is ended. Israel and Hamas back at war in Gaza. Plus, the United States warning of an escalating food crisis spurred by climate change. And Haitian authorities question former rebel Guy Philippe after he was repatriated from the United States. The story when our news returns. It's a story that's been 25 years in the making, and our news is here to tell it. The Atlantis Resort opened the world-famous Royal Towers 25 years ago. Watch our news live at 7 and 7:30 nightly starting December 4th for a week on location from the towers. It's time to celebrate and commemorate 25 years with the place helping to make our tourism industry great. Join us for the biggest birthday party in the country starting Monday, December 4th.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
It's a story that's been 25 years in the making, and our news is here to tell it. The Atlantis Resort opened the world-famous Royal Towers 25 years ago. Watch our news live at 7 and 7:30 nightly starting December 4th for a week on location from the towers. It's time to celebrate and commemorate 25 years with the place helping to make our tourism industry great. Join us for the biggest birthday party. This is our news. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. Fighting has resumed in Gaza after the 7-day temporary ceasefire between Israel and Hamas expired. The Israeli military has dropped leaflets warning residents in parts of southern Gaza to flee for their safety as bombing resumes. Both sides have blamed each other for the violence restarting after a week in which more than 100 hostages were released by Hamas in exchange for 240 Palestinian prisoners in Israeli jails. The Hamas-run military, or health ministry that is, in Gaza says over 100 people have been killed since the ceasefire ended on Friday morning. Meanwhile, U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken said on Friday the world is facing an escalating food crisis as global warming and extreme weather events continue to ravage the planet. Speaking at a COP28 plenary session, Blinken said around the world 700 million people are chronically undernourished, yet the challenge to combat food insecurity is only set to get worse. The Secretary of State also announced the United States will join the Emirates Declaration on Sustainable Agriculture.
This challenge is only going to get worse. A growing population means the global demand for food is likely to increase by an estimated 50% by the year 2050. An escalating climate crisis means that crop yields could drop by as much as 30% over that same period. So do the math. We'll be feeding more and more people on a planet where growing food will become harder.
Have a Google account you haven't used in a while? Well, if you want to keep it from disappearing, you should sign in before the end of the week. Under Google's updated and active account policy, which the tech giant announced back in May, accounts that haven't been used in at least 2 years could be deleted. Accounts deemed inactive could be erased beginning today. In May's announcement, Google credited its inactive account update to security issues. The easiest way to keep your Google account active is to sign in at least once every 2 years. And authorities in Haiti held former rebel leader Guy Philippe on Friday at a police station. According to his lawyer, Philippe remains in custody a day after the United States repatriated him to Haiti. Philippe is a convicted money launderer who played a key role in the 2004 rebellion against former President Jean-Bertrand Aristide and also was accused of masterminding attacks on police stations and other targets. His lawyer says Philippe was being held under observation that usually lasts about 48 hours, but he's not been charged and no hearing has been held. He was extradited to the United States, where he was sentenced to 9 years in prison after pleading guilty to a money laundering charge. And a survey done this year with data collected from 117 companies in 15 Caribbean countries revealed that Barbados had the most significant percentage of companies paying salaries above market value. The Caribbean Salary Survey Report, PayPulse 2023, conducted by the Caribbean Society for Human Resource Professionals, said 53.3% of jobs surveyed in Barbados surpassed market value. Speaking at the launch of the survey on November 22nd, Rochelle James, who's the CEO of CSHRP, highlighted the importance of having regional data. According to the findings, Antigua and Barbuda claimed the second spot with 16.7% of jobs paying above market value, while Jamaica placed third with 13.3%. The survey stands as the most comprehensive and current resource in the region, highlighting 30 distinct job titles across 26 diverse industries in 15 countries. Still to come in our news today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was December 1st. Then in our news at 7:30, the vice chair of the F&M attacked by an unknown man in an altercation at the party headquarters. He's now asking why and who sent him. Plus, an American woman accused of a murder-for-hire plot against her husband ordered to stand trial. When our news returns. It's a story that's been 25 years in the making, and our news is here to tell it. The Atlantis Resort opened the world-famous Royal Towers 25 years ago. Watch our news live at 7 and 7:30 nightly starting December 4th for a week on location from the towers. It's time to celebrate and commemorate 25 years with the place helping to make our tourism industry great. Join us for the biggest birthday party in the country starting Monday, December 4th.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
It's a story that's been 25 years in the making, and our news is here to tell it. The Atlantis Resort opened the world-famous Royal Towers 25 years ago. Watch our news live at 7 and 7:30 nightly starting December 4th. Welcome back to our news. It's time now to turn our spotlight on events that shaped the day that was December 1st. Take a look. this day in Bahamian history, in 1828, William Dowdeswell died at his residence in England. Dowdeswell was governor and commander-in-chief of the Bahama Islands from 1791 to 1801. His 10 years as governor of the colony witnessed the Loyalists becoming the dominant political group in the House of Assembly, as well as the decline on the cotton boom in the Bahama Islands. Dowdeswell Street in New Providence is named after him. Then in 1912, William Robinson, a member of the Slave Trade Commission who served as governor and commander-in-chief of these islands from 1874 to 1800, died in London of heart disease. A year after his command of the Bahamas ended, Robinson was appointed governor of the Windward Islands before holding the post in Barbados and Trinidad and Tobago. Then on December 1st, 1949, musician and songwriter Phil Stubbs was born in Dumfries, Cat Island. The rake and scrape and Bahamian folk music entertainer is known for songs such as Cry of the Potcake, Down Home, Bonefish Foley, O Cat Island, and Stress. The first U.S. president to set foot on Bahamian soil, the late John F. Kennedy, 35th President of the United States, is seen here with Prime Minister Harold Macmillan of England at their two-day meeting in Nassau in December 1962. The two met to discuss the cancellation of the Skybolt air-to-ground missile series. Then in 1995, Cleveland Wilmore Eneas Sr. died in Atlanta, Georgia at the age of 80. Dr. Eneas was an educator, historian, and doctor of dental surgery. He is the author of the popular book Baintown, and the primary school on New Providence is named in his honor. In 2005, Paul Lawrence Adderley became the acting Governor General of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. He served in that office after Dame Ivy Dumont stepped down. He remained Governor General until Arthur Hanna was sworn in on February 1st, 2006. And on this day in world history, December 1st, 1761, saw the birth of Marie Tussaud. She was born in France and is credited as the founder of Madame Tussaud's Museum of Wax Figures. In 1913, the world's first moving assembly line debuted, used in manufacturing Model Ts at a Ford factory in Highland Park, Michigan. The innovation was the idea of owner Henry Ford, and it revolutionized the auto industry. And finally, on this day in 1955, civil rights icon Rosa Parks refused to surrender her bus seat to a white passenger and was arrested. It sparked a 381-day bus boycott led by Martin Luther King Jr. All right, to watch that story again, that historical recap, as well as all of today's top stories, you can visit ournews.bs. It's going to do it for us in News at 7. Joining us now is Natalia Hall with the latest headlines. And Natalia, we definitely want to send our thanks to the Bahamas AIDS Foundation for outfitting us today with these shirts. It has the official logo, and I know you've got more on that coming up in
Of course, so
R30.
be sure to stay tuned. And Ken, today's December 1st. Have you started your Christmas shopping already, or?
I don't
Not
even
yet.
want to think about it just yet, but I think that answers your question.
I've started. You know, I think it's important to
Yeah.
prepare ahead of time so you don't get caught with all of that last-minute shopping.
Absolutely. So now that means I got to get on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks so much,
I
Ken.
will.
Well, the vice chair of the F&M attacked by an unknown man in an altercation at the party headquarters, plus an American woman accused of a murder-for-hire plot against her husband. Here are your latest headlines. An attack first tonight on Our News Live at 7:30. The Free National Movement National Vice Chairman claiming he was attacked by a man he does not know last night. Plus, a decrease in the number of sexually transmitted infections. The health minister shares the latest stats. Plus, an American woman accused of plotting the murder of her estranged husband has been committed to stand trial in the Supreme Court. Details of the case coming up. And later, the Energy and Transport Minister advocating for solution-focused climate action. Our News Live at 7:30 is back in a moment.
Doctors Hospital has reimagined primary care. We have invested to improve our health system, ensuring that accessible, affordable, world-class clinical care is closer to you. Your relationship with a primary care provider shapes the foundation of your overall health. Our new, modern primary care facilities are where critical diagnosis and true personalized treatment begin. With locations across New Providence, Grand Bahama, and Exuma, we invite you to experience the Doctors Hospital difference. Book your next appointment at clinics.doctorshos.com.
Christmas coming, here is all around. Christmas back in town. Christmas coming, here is all around.
Christmas is coming, and your fingers know it. for a finger-licking good Christmas. KFC.
Have you heard that sound? It's the sound of us. Since our origins, we burst music. Our sounds mixed together. So let us hear your sound too. Your sound of passion, of joy, of friendship. The sound of your style and the beat of your night. It's time to play together the sound of Guinness, the sounds of greatness.
It's a story that's been 25 years in the making, and Our News is here to tell it. The Atlantis Resort opened the world-famous Royal Towers 25 years ago. Watch Our News live at 7 and 7:30 nightly starting December 4th for a week on location from the towers. It's time to celebrate and commemorate 25 years with the place helping to make our tourism industry great. Join us for the biggest birthday party in the country starting Monday, December 4th.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's
Welcome to our news and thank you for joining us. I'm Natalia Hall. An altercation outside the Free National Movement headquarters last night prompting police to respond. And while party officials are mum on the matter, the man at the center of it, F&M National Vice Chairman Richard Johnson, is speaking out saying he was attacked. Megan Shepard has the story.
National Vice Chairman of the Free National Movement, Richard Johnson, claims he was attacked by a man he does not know. Johnson, who was an avid supporter of former leader Dr. Hubert Minnis, says the situation got heated on the inside as the party discussed the loss of the recent West Grand Bahama and Bimini by-election. Johnson alleges he was attacked as he spoke with supporters outside.
At that time, I decided to defend myself to the point where a person had to get between us and he was able to escape.
Johnson claims after the attacker fled the scene, he returned inside.
They told me outright that you need to go to the police station. This is not our matter, and you're not going to disturb this meeting. And so the meeting went on as usual, as if nothing did happen to me. Again, I am an executive member of the F&M. I'm a vice chairman of the F&M. I'm one of them.
Deputy Commissioner of Police Lemond Delaveau telling a local daily that police were informed that an argument broke out between two F&M supporters. Meantime, Johnson says he made an official police report and provided officers with a sketch of the attacker.
The Commissioner of Police have assured me that this matter will take a serious investigation.
Johnson says while he cannot prove it, he believes the attacker was hired to assault him. He admits that he is very outspoken and believes recent public comments may have triggered the attack.
I'm a social media personality, and I say things from time to time, and this week I had a rough week with some persons in the Free National Movement.
Overall, Johnson says he is doing well and will continue to be careful.
I'm doing very well. I saw the reports about how I physically was bleeding and bleeding, and look at me. I'm okay. I'm doing very well. I don't want to be poachers about it, but I will concern myself with regards to being careful, and because again, you don't know to what end this is going to stop, and so I'm very much mindful of that.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Megan Shepard.
All right, thanks for that, Megan. While police are investigating the death of a 45-year-old man who was found unresponsive inside a bar on Broome Street off Blue Hill Road. According to reports, the man was found around just before 10 last night with visible injuries to the body. Police have not classified the death, but say their investigations will continue. An American housewife accused of plotting the murder of her estranged husband with her lover and his friend have been committed to stand trial in the Supreme Court. Lindsay Shiver, her alleged lover Terrence Bethel, and Renewable Jr. will be arraigned on the murder conspiracy charge on December 8th. Prosecutors allege that the trio planned the murder of Robert Shiver on July 16th. The alleged murder plot was uncovered while police were investigating a break-in at Graver's Bar and Grill in Guanaki, Abaco. Bethel, who worked as a bartender at the bar, was arrested in relation to the break-in and theft. While in custody, police allegedly found a series of text messages between the accused concerning the alleged murder plot. Health Minister Dr. Michael Darville says rates of new infections of sexually transmitted diseases such as chlamydia and gonorrhea are trending down in the country. Darville's comments came following his announcement that newly reported HIV cases are down by 63%.
We are pleased to report that there was a 44% decrease in reported chlamydia and 45% reduction in reported gonorrhea cases from 2012 to 2021. We have finally updated our sexually transmitted information or infections and viral hepatitis guidelines, and we will launch new protocols to all public health clinics nationwide.
And he says training under this new format has already begun to take place.
More than 150 healthcare workers across the archipelago were trained using these new updated guidelines, and our prevention unit have distributed more than 100,000 free condoms at outreach events during the year alone.
Today is World AIDS Day, and each year December 1st focuses on raising awareness. The theme this year is Let Communities Lead. It's a call to action for support and empowering communities to take on leadership roles rather than just celebrating the accomplishments of individual communities. Here at home, the Bahamas AIDS Foundation has several events planned. A sunset move is currently underway at Arawak Key, where attendees are taking part in Zumba, Jonka aerobics and Soca aerobics until 9:30 p.m. On Thursday night, a candlelight vigil was held to remember the lives lost. Now, the foundation also outfitted the entire news team in these lovely red and white shirts to honor the day. Well, a cool evening in the capital on this Friday. Wondering what else is in store for us this weekend? Well, meteorologist Greg Thompson is live in the Weather Center with your first look at weather. Greg, nice shirt.
We're representing.
Of course.
And of course, we are thinking about all those who are infected with AIDS. Nice day around the islands, a little on the breezy and warm side. Temperatures managed to get up into the low 80s, but we are still very close to the 80-degree mark. 78 outside our studios right now, mostly clear skies. It winds out of the southeast at 9 miles per hour, and that makes it feel like 80 degrees on the outside. Satellite radar composite showing quiet conditions across our area. We do have some high-level clouds moving out of the Gulf of Mexico across the Bahamas. Frontal boundary that was across us that basically has fallen apart. It's a little bit of the moisture still hanging out to the east of us, but we are watching this area of showers and thunderstorms. That's all ahead of a frontal boundary that's across the southeast United States. We expect that to get in here sometime by the early part of next week. So we're looking for a cool down once again. That's a quick check on conditions around the island. Stick with us. Look at your weekend forecast is still to come.
Still to come on our news, Minister of Energy and Transport Jobette Colby-Dave is making a plea at COP28 for solution-focused climate action. Plus, a deep dive into a new Crawfish aquaculture program. Find out the Lutheran institution pioneering the initiative. Also, the perfect location. The Zonta Club partnering with the Best of the Best Regatta Committee to raise awareness. And those stories coming up when our news returns.
It has the looks, the style, the performance.
It's a story that's been 25 years in the making, and our news is here to tell it. The Atlantis Resort opened the world-famous Royal Towers 25 years ago. Watch our news live at 7 and 7:30 nightly starting December 4th for a week on location from the Towers. It's time to celebrate and commemorate 25 years with the place helping to make our tourism industry great. Join us for the biggest birthday party in the country starting Monday, December 4th.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
It's a story that's been 25 years in the making, and Our News is here to tell it. The Atlantis Resort opened the world-famous Royal Towers 25 years ago. Watch Our News live at 7 and 7:30 nightly starting December 4th for a week on location from the towers. It's time to celebrate and commemorate 25 years with the place helping to make our tourism industry great.
Minister of Energy and Transport Jobette Colby Davis advocating for solution-focused climate action. Colby Davis made the plea at COP28's fireside chat during the session. She highlighted unique vulnerabilities of island nations like the Bahamas to the impacts of climate change. She told other attendees at the event in Dubai that the Bahamas is doing its part by transitioning to renewable energy sources and investing in sustainable infrastructure.
Bringing on this sustainable investment program helps us a great deal to be able to respond with mitigation and adaptation measures in the Bahamas. Some of the things we've began looking at outside of what I discussed already, which is our renewable agenda, is also to design new infrastructure to strengthen our built-in codes in our country, to build upon agriculture, to make sure that we have a larger investment in food sustainability as well.
Minister Colby Davis also emphasized the critical role international partnerships play when it comes to addressing climate change.
We're faced constantly with these storms, and so our approach has to be to go out and seek foreign direct investment to build on our financial structure, our financial model, and to make sure that we continue to position the Bahamas to be able to withstand the tremendous storms that we are faced with. And so that's our continued focus. That's the approach that we're taking.
All right, well, the Island School's Cape Eleuthera Institute introducing a crawfish aquaculture program designed to restock wild populations and pioneer the rearing of crawfish to marketable size. The breakthrough initiative is being undertaken by researcher Danae Rankin and PhD student Michael Bullag.
A big thing for us in developing the project has been trying to make sure it's like a community-based initiative for aquaculture development in Eleuthera and then the wider Bahamas. And it's kind of focused on using like a really iconic and important species, what the Haitians would call crawfish, basically. And taking that species and looking at holistically how could we develop aquaculture using that species, but make it in a way where the community sees it as an alternative viable option for them to development of aquaculture, but also working to conserve it as a species.
The project won support from the United Nations Development Program's Ocean Innovation Challenge as one of 9 projects fostering sustainable fisheries and the blue economy. It's also a part of a broader program that has received generous support from the Disney Conservation Fund and the Builders Initiative. It's led by Dr. Robert Ellis, an aquaculture researcher, and collaborates with experts from the National Lobster Hatchery in the UK.
We're working collaboratively to look how we can improve the kind of productivity of this spiny lobster or crawfish fishery, and indeed if we can create an aquaculture sector. So we're working firstly and foremost looking at the fishery in itself at the first part. So we're looking at understanding population connectivity. Where do the different populations come from that we're fishing? Understanding kind of how they're mating and looking at the genetic connectivity. That's really important for sustainability.
When our news comes back from the break, we'll tell you about the partnership with the Zonta Club of Nassau to raise awareness on gender-based violence.
We recap day one of Best of the Best and see what happened in the soccer match between the Bahamas and the USVI. We're coming right back with our sports.
And nice temperatures around the islands on this Friday. Greg is back with your weekend weather planner when our news returns.
It's a story that's been 25 years in the making, and our news is here to tell it. The Atlantis Resort opened the world-famous Royal Towers 25 years ago. Watch our news live at 7 and 7:30 nightly starting December 4th for a week on location from the towers. It's time to celebrate and commemorate 25 years with the place helping to make our tourism industry great. Join us for the biggest birthday party in the country starting Monday, December 4th.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
It's a story that's been 25 years in the making, and our news is here to tell it. The Atlantis Resort opened the world-famous Royal Towers 25 years ago. Watch our news live at 7 and 7:30 nightly starting December 4th for a week on location from the towers. It's time to celebrate and commemorate 25 years with the place helping to make our tourism industry great. Join us for the biggest birthday party in the country starting Monday, December 4th.
Don't spend.
The Zonta Club of Nassau continuing to raise awareness and to spark conversation regarding gender-based violence. Between November 25th and December 10th, the organization joins others around the world to observe an international Say No to Violence campaign. This year, the club is partnering with the Best of the Best Regatta Committee. President Sonia Brown says the Regatta site is the perfect location to raise awareness as thousands of Bahamians convene on Montague Beach.
What is also important is that it's more male focused, because I think the men are going to outnumber us at this event. And we have really been fighting to engage men on a deeper level. I think most of us involved in this battle to end gender-based violence, we've seen that the women have been at the forefront, but I think it's unfair for the victims of violence to be responsible for solving the problem. So we really are excited about this opportunity to engage with men and ask them to join and partner with us.
Minister of Works and Family Island Affairs Clay Sweeting supporting the club in their efforts. The The regatta site has been adorned with several orange ribbons, which represents solidarity in eliminating all forms of violence.
Orange ribbons tied around trees at Montague Bay. It's a great way to get everyone participating in conversations regarding all forms of violence against all genders, whether girls, boys, women, or men. Zonta, I want to wish you and your team every success in the future. And I really want to thank you on behalf of my ministry on reaching out to us to realize an opportunity here at the regatta to show persons that even though we come out here for fun, to celebrate the national sport, that even at events like this, we can recognize that our ways that we can improve as a society.
All right, great news. While day one of the best regatta is in the history books, and our women's soccer team takes on the U.S. Virgin Islands. Here's Tej Adderley with a check on sports. Tej.
Thanks, Natalia. Good evening, happy Friday. I'm Tej Adderley here to finish up the week strong with our sports. Day one of the best regatta wrapped up yesterday right here in New Providence. Let's see what went down. Stephen Knowles picked right back up where he left off last year. The winner of all three divisions in last year's regatta repeated defeat on day one of the 2023 races, sweeping the A, B, and C classes. It wasn't easy, but as far as Knowles is concerned, he stood on business.
It's been a long day, the breeze been up all day. It's very tiresome and strenuous for the body, but we still did what we were supposed to do and prevail and came out on top.
Tomorrow is a big day at the regatta, according to Sailing Council member Dwayne Higgins, as youth sailors will face off.
Tomorrow, and we'll have approximately 70 junior sailors, potential sailers, who will come just to observe. We have them coming from some primary schools on the Providence, some junior schools, and then some of the senior schools.
The regatta is happening all weekend at Montague Beach. There's a lot of food, drinks, and entertainment, so if you're looking for something to do, head out there. Now to the pitch. The Bahamas women's soccer team played the USVI, falling 2-1. The USVI prevailed in a rematch of last October's tie in St. Croix, logging their first victory in the road to the Women's CONCACAF Gold Cup on Wednesday at the Roscoe A. Davies Field right here in New Providence. The USVI's McKees Taylor broke the stalemate, scoring the first goal in the 16th minute, but Kenyanique Thompson would tie the game up in the 31st. Bianco Quinzino of the USVI would come right back in the 34th to put the USVI up once and for all, giving the game its final score and securing their first win. We are done with sports for the week. I'm Tej Adderley. Have a great weekend.
Still ahead on our news tonight, a Tingsy frenzy. Eyes a Bahamian boy preparing to host his Tings Must Pop-Up market. We'll explain what it is and how the effort aims to highlight small and medium-sized enterprises. And cool temperatures in the capital this evening. Hopefully, these nice conditions stick with us. Greg is back with your extended weather forecast right after this quick break. Stay with us.
It's a story that's been 25 years in the making, and our news is here to tell it. The Atlantis Resort opened the world-famous Royal Towers 25 years ago. Watch our news live at 7 and 7:30 nightly starting December 4th for a week on location from the towers. It's time to celebrate and commemorate 25 years with the place helping to make our tourism industry great. Join us for the biggest birthday party in the country starting Monday, December 4th.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having Business in a Box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
It's a story that's been 25 years in the making, and Our News is here to tell it. The Atlantis Resort opened the world-famous Royal Towers 25 years ago. Watch Our News live at 7 and 7:30 nightly starting December 4th for a week on location from the towers. It's time to celebrate and commemorate 25 years with the place helping to make our tourism industry great. Join us for the biggest birthday party in the country starting Monday, December 4th.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services.
We've seen cool temperatures around the islands this entire week. Wondering what else is in the forecast? Well, Greg is back with your weekend weather planner live. Greg.
Yeah, thanks again, Natalia, and welcome back, everybody, for a final look. We are going to see a warm-up for the weekend because our winds are now turning more towards the southeast to south, and that's going to bring in some warmer temperatures. But we do expect a frontal boundary to get in here sometime Monday, and the second one should be here by the middle of next week, so we're looking for some cooler temperatures by then. Satellite pictures showing quiet conditions across our area. Really nothing happening out there. Some patchy clouds. We have the remnants of a frontal boundary just hanging out to the east of the Bahamas, so a couple isolated showers along that area. But a low pressure system and a complex system that's moving through the southeast United States, going to cross the Florida area, stay to the north of us as that high pressure slides out towards the east. And then, of course, we expect a frontal boundary, as I said, to get near sometime by early next week. Future forecast showing that moisture associated with the remnants of that boundary out there towards the east and away from us. By Saturday, should be quiet again across the area. And then Sunday, there's the front that's going to be coming. It's going to fall apart. Nothing much expected with the front, but the second one is going to bring in some very nice weather and some cooler temperatures by the middle of next week. Boating forecast, we still have a caution flag out there. There's some swells still affecting the islands along the Atlantic exposures. Southeast to south winds at 15 knots across the northwest Bahamas, 3 to 5 foot seas, but up to 7 feet along the Atlantic exposures. High tide will be at 10:44 tonight. Low tide at 4:42 in the morning. Central and southeast Bahamas, caution flag for you down there as well. Those winds still a little stiff. East to southeast, 15 to 20 knots. They will be gusting at times. Seas 4 to 7 feet along Atlantic exposures in those swells. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, quiet through the weekend. Sunday we get some isolated showers ahead of the front. First front comes through on Monday, and then Tuesday, slight cool down, but that's when the second front comes through. Wednesday time frame, and temperatures will dip into the 70s. Those nighttime temperatures will approach the 60s. So we're starting to see some, Christmas weather? That should be getting here by early next week. That's a look at our weather.
Sounds great, Greg. Well, for a third straight year, Isa Bahamian Boy founder Cache Knowles will host her Tingsmas pop-up market this weekend. The pop-up, sponsored by Alive and Rev, will highlight over 50 small and medium-sized business entrepreneurs selling Bahamian Christmas items. It will also feature lots of local eats and treats. Knowles says it's so important to organize an event such as this during the holiday season.
Most small businesses operate from home, so unless they have these opportunities and these spaces that can meet the community, they really can't operate other than at home. It's very important for all of us to come together because together we are stronger, and like also too the influx of people supporting each business individually, you'll end up finding something that you didn't know about, another business that's right next to the booth that you're familiar with. It's a new product that you like, it's a new product that you can support throughout the year.
Now, the pop-up schedule for this Sunday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Collins House will also feature Eyes of Bahamian Bay items.
We also have I ain't gonna lie, right? And then in brackets to say they lie, because you know, you hear any Bahamian say I ain't gonna lie, they lie. We have, this one is one of my favorites. So everyone knows the ring play song. There's a brown girl in the ring. I took that song and made a design that basically says that brown girl in a ring would be proud. And then underneath says sha la 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 la. So it's really inspirational, this new line. I also have one that is the product of a Bahamian dream. So that is essentially, we are the products of our grandparents and where they positioned us for the future. And then we will essentially be that to the products of a Bahamian dream in the future. So those are the future generation of Bahamians.
All right, sounds great. I enjoyed that interview. Be sure to check it out. And with that, we thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Natalia Hall. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening.